If you all observe very carefully, in first chapter, that is what is motion. So motion generally motion in a straight line, we have studied motion in a straight line, and as well as we have studied projectile motion. So projectile motion only we used to call as what, guys? I have told you already. Projectile motion only
Motion
we used
and
to call as
two-dimension.
two-dimensional motion. Now, if you all observe here, everybody, entire this motion chapter, we discussed that how the body is moving, what is its velocity, what is its speed, how it is changing according to the time, and how what is projectile motion, how the body is projected, what is the angle it is projected, what distance it is traveling. This is what we people discuss entire chapter. Am I right or wrong? What is the equations of motion to represent the body's motion? These are the things we discuss in motion. Am I right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes.
what is the position of the body? These all the things we discuss in the motion. That is why we never discuss about the cause. Have you all noticed it? Who is making, why the motion is causing? Who makes the body to go? Who makes the body to run faster or run slower? That is what cause. That cause we never study. Only we study about the effect. So that the effect only, whatever we studied in the motion chapter, entire thing we used to call as kinematics. What is to call, everybody? Who is to call as kinematics. Now, who is causing this kinematics? The motion of the body. Who is causing? The who makes the body to move? That all the things we are going to discuss. That is what making the effect, the cause behind the motion of the body, which is we used to call as dynamics. So the dynamics only we used to call as force and laws of motion. So who makes the body to move forward? Everybody. Who makes the body to move forward?
Force.
Force.
For
Unless the
dynamics.
force is applied, is it possible to move the body forward? Everybody.
No, sir.
So that
No,
is
sir.
what in this chapter we are going to study. All of you remember that? Just a minute. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to study the type of force and what is even friction also we'll study, which is like 8th class, what you study the same thing. So in this chapter, you have to remember the types of forces which we studied in 8th class if you want to continue this. And you need to know friction, what is friction, and as well as what is Newton's laws of motion and law of conservation also. So law of conservation, I think you might be getting in
So
chemistry.
can you please write in the board?
Yeah, I will say. So in this chapter, we have to remember this. What we have to remember, if you want to continue this chapter, that is what dynamics, dynamics, dynamics. You need to know many things which you people don't know. Actually, you should learn in 9th class itself. But these are the main things for this force and laws of motion. You need to know the types of forces. Everything we will study. I will teach you. And you need to know what is friction. So 8th class you studied what is friction. Do you all remember, everybody? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So
So dynamics is also known as force, sir.
no, dynamics means which will deals about the effect of motion. That is what force. That is what we used to study. Understand, Mari? I will say you. Okay. And you should
Yes.
know what is the states. That is what Newton's law of motion. We are going to study. Newton's first law, Newton's second law, everything. Newton's laws of motion. And as well as we are going to study law of conservation. What is law of conservation? Same way, we are going to study what is potential energy, and same way, what is kinetic energy and their derivations. Derivations also we are going to study. And same way, we are going to study center of entire dynamics, not about this chapter. I will say you, Abhirami, what is dynamics. You wait it. Okay. So we are going to study derivations. We are going to study center of gravity. And we are going to study transformations of energy. Transformation of energy. Like for example, Our fan. How many of you know fan? Everyone? We all knows the fan. Correct or not? So fan will convert some energy into some other energy. Can you tell me what is that energy?
Into mechanical
Yeah, it will
energy.
convert electrical energy into what?
Mechanical energy.
Mechanical energy. So like that, energy transformation also will study under this dynamics. So you should able to do these many things in this. And we will study conservation of energies. Next, stabilities of bodies. We will study even new things, which is first time you people will learn, like levers. Lower classes you might be study. If you go to the Gandhi Park and all, you might be remember that your sister or you will sit in one side and your brother will sit in another side. That is what you people will make the balancing.
Seesaw.
Remember?
Seesaw.
Yeah, seesaw. So seesaw is a one kind of levers. Actually, you should basically in ICSE will study in class 5th itself types of levers. But I think you might be studied or not, I don't know exactly. But we will study what is levers. Understanding? Then like seesaw. Seesaw is actually a lever. So what is levers? And you might be noticed above the well and all, we will get a water. To get a water, we will use something. Can anybody tell me what is that? The instrument or device will use something
So
to
pulley.
get water. Yes, all of you?
So pulley.
Pulleys. Okay, pulley. And as well as if you want to suppose load it, loading and unloading. Suppose I am having a lorry. If you want to loading, you have to do it. So we will use something, ramp. Do you all remember that ramp? Suppose hospitals and all, if you go, you'll be having a ramp. Yes or no, Mari? Ramp.
Yes, sir.
This ramp is actually what? Actually inclined surface, a inclined plane. Like this, many new things you are going to introduce in this dynamics chapter. So the main key idea you should understand after completing this chapter, you must able to know about the Newton's laws of motion, understand the different factors that will affect the friction and advantages and disadvantages of friction. 8th class, I only taught you, I think, some classes. Am I correct? Advantages and disadvantages of friction, not for your batch. I think your seniors. Next, we have to derive the expressions for different forms of energies. You have to understand the principle of conservation of energy. That is what derivations and as well as energy transformations and conservation of energies. You all should learn the simple pendulums and the law of simple pendulums and all. These many things you have to learn after this completing the chapter called as dynamics. Yes, Mari.
Transformation of energy. What is before that?
This is center of gravity. Center of gravity. Okay. So like this, many new things we'll learn in this chapter, which is even first time you people are seeing in our life. So like this levers and all, basically is very, very important concept. So I think some of the students, 9th class, 8th class, when you're in 8th class, IIT foundation book, you might be see that types of levers and all. So it's like a simple missions. We can say like a simple missions, which we are using in our daily life, which we used to consider as a levers. So make our work easier. So we'll study that also here. So now let us comes to the introduction. I have kept the heading called as force and laws of motion. But actually, this is a part of something. Force and laws of motion is a part of something. That is what we used to call as, what is that, everybody? Dynamics. Okay.
Dynamics.
So dynamics, what do you mean by dynamics? Let us understand that first now. So remember that first, as I said, kinematics. Kinematics deals about motion of bodies. But dynamics is the study of motion of bodies while taking into account that the cause of their motion. Who is the cause of motion? Suppose you are moving. Who is the cause, guys? Anybody can tell? Yes, please. If you are moving, who is the cause?
So we only, sir.
No, if you are moving means force is the cause. If car is moving, force is the cause. If the boy is running because of force. If the ball is throwing because of force. Understand everybody? So the dynamics. Yes, Mari?
Sir, no, sir, gravity.
Yes, whatever it is. All of you remember, dynamics, kinematics only deals about the motion of the body. but dynamics will deals along with the motion. Who is the cause of motion? Who is the cause of motion, everyone? Yes, please.
Force.
That is what we
Force.
should understand it. So that is only
The
force and laws of
kinematic
motion.
speaks about the effect of
Yes,
motion
effect of
and the
motion.
dynamics
Effect of motion. See,
and the
kinematics
dynamics.
will speak about the motion and like effect of motion, and dynamics will speak about along with the motion, who is making the motion. That is what cause of motion also will study. That is only we used to call as dynamics. Clear, everybody? All of you? So dynamics means, write it. Dynamics is the study of motion of bodies while taking into account what we are taking into account, everybody. Is the Gokul Ras taking into the account the cause of their motion. Okay, everybody. So cause of their motion. Who is the cause of their motion? All of you. Force.
Force.
That is what is called as dynamics. So dynamics, we always will study about the effect of motion. That is what you have to remember. Now, force in nature, you can see that. So what is the force? We'll discuss it. So we all know 8th class first chapter is force only. Do you all remember force and pressure? Am I right, everyone? So you might be studied in 8th class. Force means a push or pull of an object. Push or pull of an object is called as force. And
Everything
effects
else,
of
everything
forces.
puts.
Yeah, 5 effects of forces we have. You might be remember 8th class you studied or not? All of you? Contact forces, non-contact forces and all. That is only we are going
Muscular
to.
force.
Yes.
Sir.
So here, force. So you can see, nobody can see the force, but only we can feel the effect of force. That is what we studied in our 8th class. Same thing here. We observe various kind of forces being applied in our daily activities. Now you are all are writing the notebooks. There also you are applying the force. If you are go for eating, there. If you go for brushing, there. If you go for bathing, they are different kind. So many kind of forces is applied in our daily activities. So, for example, when we press the tube, suppose you are having a cycle tube. When you press the tube, what is the effect, guys? Anybody? It will goes inside. Am I right or wrong? All of you, please respond.
Yes, sir.
If I press a cycle tube, so what will happen? If I press it, definitely the tube will go inside. Am I right or wrong?
If there is no air occupied,
Air is there also, we can press it, means that definitely shape will change. Yes or no, Mari?
yes,
That is
sir,
what I can
minute
say.
change.
Or else, let me start with our daily life now. How many of you done brush by this time? Anyone? Is there anyone who has done the brush completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
many of you.
Yes, sir.
So you all take the tube of a paste. We all people knows if you take any paste which you are having close up or whatever the paste. So definitely you can see the paste will be like opening. There is a small opening for that. We people will apply the force. So what we'll do when we press the tube, if I hold it in my hands and if I press the tube to squeeze out the toothpaste, then what will happen? If you take any cream, face cream or toothpaste and all, if I press here, then the cream will come out or the paste will come out. So here, any actions you can take, like pressing the toothpaste or pressing the cream or brushing or eating, everywhere, or opening the door or closing the door, everywhere you can see, we will either push or we will pull. If you want to open the door, either you want to push it or you want to pull it. Some doors are pushing and some doors are pulling. Yeah, kneading the floor. Abhiram is saying, 8th class, you might be remember. So chapati making, you can see, before making the chapati, your mother is keep on hitting that. And that hitting only we used to call as kneading. Like that, pushing or pulling is referred to as what? Everybody is referred to is only we used to call as force.
Force.
So every action, not only the push or pull, every action, sitting, running, jumping, braking, pressing, squeezing, every action is actually a force. Somewhere, everything in our daily life, we people are doing the push or pull. Or if you press, that is referred to as what? If you press, that is also referred to as what, everybody? It is actually
Force.
force only.
Force.
So every action in our daily life, we have definitely some kind of force we are applying it. So that is why a force cannot be seen by anybody, but we can feel the effect of forces. So that is what, it is not much important topic, so that we'll go faster. So effects of forces. So what is the main effects of forces which we studied in 8th class? I think 5 effects of forces you might be studied. The same 5 effects of forces. So I will get it from you. I will say the example, you should tell me. For example, when a football is kicked, what will happen, guys? When a football is kicked by a boy, what will happen? It moves with a certain speed. Am I right or wrong? All of you? When a football is kicked, it will move with a certain speed. Means in the sense of what? Force can move an object which is at rest. Am I right or wrong, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
that is
sir.
the first effect of force. The force can move or tend to move an object which is at what, everybody? Which is at rest. So if you take, when a football, if you kick the football will start moving with a certain speed. So who makes that body to move? Who makes the body to move? Force only. You understand, all of you? Same way. Now a ball is rolling
Makes
on
the
the surface.
moving body in rest.
The ball is rolling on the surface. Now nobody is stopping, no fielder, nobody is stopping. After traveling continuously, yes, Mr. Kishore, is the ball will go continuously till Tiruchi, Chennai like that, or it will stop after certain distance? After some time, the speed, even though nobody is stopping also, after traveling some distance, it will come to rest automatically. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, who
Yes,
makes
sir.
the body to come to rest? Here there is a force. Somebody is the force between the surface and the object.
Friction.
Very good. That is the force we used to call as what? Frictional force. Understanding? Due to the frictional force, the object which is in motion is automatically will come to the rest. Do you understanding? So that is the example of what? A force used to bring an object to what? To rest. Clear, everybody? Force is used to bring an object into what, guys? Object to what? All of you? Nivedan? Object to rest. So if you take a rolling on a ball, suppose in which surface the body will come to rest fastly? Anybody can tell? In which surface the body will come to rest? Smooth surface or rough surface? Mr. Sam?
Rough surface. Rough surface, which has many irregularities.
Yes, we all people knows rough surface will cause us what? More frictional force or
More
less
friction.
frictional force? More frictional force.
More friction.
Greater the frictional force, faster will be the body to bring it back to the rest. Means the body can be brought into the rest very faster when if it is having a rough surface. So that is what we can say. Of course, whatever the surface, after traveling certain distance, definitely the body will come to the rest because of force. So force only makes the body to bring it into rest. Next, third one, let me take. Now, if you notice it, all of you, for example, if you are cycling, suddenly somebody is you are already in a motion. Now suddenly somebody will push it from the backside. Now you tell me. So what will happen? Suddenly they will push you from the backside. Already you are in a motion. Because of the push what they have given, what will happen?
It increases the motion of the body.
Yes. The speed of the body, what will happen? You will be speed up. Or somebody will push. Sorry, somebody will pull. What will happen? You will be
Stops.
slow down. Am I right or wrong? All of you?
Yes, sir.
So because of applying force, what will happen? Force can Force
Change
can
the speed of
Force
the
can
object.
increase or
increase
decrease the
or
speed of an
decreases
object.
the speed of the body. Increases
or decreases the speed of the body.
decreases the speed of body. So that is the third effect of force. Next, fourth one. If you take, for example, you can see how many of you know cushions like pillows and all. Cushion, you know that. If you fall on it, what will happen? It will be getting compressed or not? All of you?
Yes, sir.
If you pull the rubber band, what will happen? The shape of the rubber band is changing. It will be getting elongated. If I press the,
Sponge.
yeah,
Sponge.
elongated. If I apply the pulled, if I try to pull the rubber band is stretched. That is what the rubber band getting elongated it will be. So because of applying force, what will happen? If you take the pillow, if you take the kneading, that is what kneading floor. If you take the
Change in
sponge,
shape.
change in shape and as well as size.
Size.
So the force can be employed to change the shape or dimensions of a body. Okay. See, like 8th class, we cannot. We have to be like little technical terms. That is what it is 9th. So that is what you have to write it. Right. What is that? All of you, force can
Amplify.
force can be employed. Force can be employed to change the shape or dimensions of the body or the dimensions of a body. So that is what you have to remember. So this is the fourth effect. Next, please mute somebody's bird sound is coming. Next, last effect of force. Bird sound, who is that bird sound? Please mute. Next, last effect of force, that is what? So due to the applying force, for example, you can take, we all people knows, suppose when a car changes the direction. So do you people need to apply the force or not? All of you? Yes. So for example, if you are traveling in a straight road, suddenly your car will wants to take turn. Is it automatically will takes or you need to control the force? Everyone?
We need to control the
We
force.
We
need
need
to
to apply
control
the force. Whatever the force we have, definitely we need to apply the brakes and all lot of things, accelerator and brake, we have to balance it, and then only we can change the direction. Or the football kicked by the boy is moving in this direction. Now here some other person is there. So if we want to pass the ball, he need to apply the force again, then only the direction of the ball will changes. Am I right or wrong, everybody? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is the fifth effect of force. Force is used to change the direction of what? Motion. Okay. So force is used to change the direction of motion. So these are the 5 effects of forces. I hope you all understand. These are the what we used to call as 5 effects of
force.
forces. Okay. Now, these forces, let us revise from the class 8 and all of you tell me. So we are having a 2 types of forces. Can you tell me what is the 2 types of forces which you studied in 8th class?
Contact force,
Yes.
non-contact force.
So it is actually not necessary for us much, but of course we'll devise. So forces are 2 types. One is what? All of you. Contact forces
force
and
and non-contact.
next one is
force.
non-contact.
Non-contact force.
Yeah, non-contact forces. So if you take the contact forces, we know that the physical contact. So contact
So
means
what is the
physical.
fifth effect of the force?
Fifth effect of
sir?
force change the direction of motion, Mari. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now if you take that, so forces are 2 types. One is contact forces and another one is what, guys? Non-contact forces. So contact forces means must come physical contact with the body. Physical contact with the body, that is what we used to call as contact forces. So what is the examples of contact forces? Fastly, everyone.
Muscular force.
Yes, very good. That is what we will say.
Fric
Yes, muscular force,
frictional force.
frictional force. That's all. Anybody?
Gravitational.
Mechanical force, magnetic force, that is gravitational force is a non-contact forces. Okay. So muscular force, mechanical force. For example, you are lifting, suppose you can see that missions are lifting, suppose JCB is there, JCB will lift the load. How it will be? It is a mission. That is what mission is actually there. It is obtaining the energy from certain places. So that is what mechanical force. That mechanical force also is actually a physical force only. So mainly you people study muscular force and frictional force is the types of contact forces. Am I right or wrong, everybody?
Yes.
Yes. Next,
Yes, sir.
if you take non-contact forces. So we are having non-contact means. What do you mean by non-facting? Is it necessary to come in contact? Do not
No,
make
sir.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do not make contact.
Contact with the object.
Contact.
Yeah, contact with each other. So that is what we used to call as non-contact forces. What is the first example of non-contact forces, everybody?
Gravitational force.
Gravitational force.
Gravitational
So,
force.
yeah, gravitational
Electrostatic
force. So that is the reason if you consider any kind of object, it is always falling towards to the earth. Whatever the object, if you have been dropped from the certain height, always it will fall towards to the earth because of earth is exerting some force. That force is called as what force? Gravitational
Gravitational.
force.
Gravitational force.
If you take, you might be studied lower classes. If you rub the pen in our dry hair and it will start attracting the papers. What is that force we used to call as?
Electrostatic
Magnetic
force.
force.
Yes.
Electrostatic force.
Force.
Electro-
Understanding?
Electrostatic force.
Electrostatic force. If you take magnetic force is also is the same kind of forces. So this is what we can say examples of non-contact
Types.
forces. Okay. Now, of course, we don't have a definitions and all. You people at least have some idea. We do not have much importance here. So only you should know the names and what is the main importance. So contact forces and as well as non-contact forces. We are having types and everything. We are having at least some idea. Now we are going to discuss main thing. This muscular contact forces or non-contact forces doesn't matter. We are going to discuss, for example, see, how many of you know magnets? You all knows the magnets. So magnet is having north pole and as well as what pole, everybody?
South
South pole.
pole.
Okay. Now, have you all experienced that? It is not necessary to touch the iron object or anything. For example, if I put a safety pin or safety needle here, you might be all notice it. When the object, the safety pin will come to certain distance, directly it will jump and it will attract to the magnet. Do you all experience it or not? It is not necessary to touch it.
Yes,
If
sir.
you bring it to the certain distance near to the magnet, automatically the needle will jump and it will stick to the magnet. Am I right or wrong, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Please
Yes,
respond.
sir.
So that is what. So means in the sense of what? The force of the magnet is acting up to certain distance. Am I right, everyone? All of you?
Yes, sir.
So
Through
that
the
is
air.
only. Yes. So now you can see if I rub the pen and if I put the if I rub the pen and if I put the piece of papers, if I put the pen 1 kilometer away, is it possible to attract? No.
No, sir.
If I bring certain
No, sir.
distance, there is some distance, no need to touch. Automatically the papers will start attracting by the pen. Means the force of this charged pen is affecting certain area. Am I right or wrong, everybody?
Yes,
All
sir.
of you? So like this, every force is having an influence in certain in its surroundings. That is what we used to call as force field. What we used to say, everyone? Force field.
Force
Okay.
field.
So what do you mean by force field? Means is the region or the surroundings, like how we can say this is my region, this is my constituency, this is my people are surrounding here, my people are living here. The same thing. Same way here, force also having some influence. That influenced area, the surrounding area in which a non-contact force like magnetic forces, gravitational forces, electrostatic forces, which is present in that is what we used to call as force field. So a region or space, please write it. A region or a space. Do you all understand or not? All of you. What do you mean by that? Force field. In which a non-contact. How many of you understand what do you mean by force field? The influenced area. That's all it is. Clear, everybody? Yes, guys. A region or a space
sir.
in which non-contact force. Gokulraj Puriyamara. Non-contact force such as, what is the examples of non-contact forces? Magnetic force,
Electrostatic force.
gravitational force,
Electrostatic force.
yeah, gravitational force, electrostatic force, etc. acts is called force field. Okay, so for example, I will take a magnet. You all people are having a magnet. You do one thing. So you place the object somewhere far. Then you can see some iron needles I'm placing. So you can notice it. Definitely there is no attraction by the iron needle. That magnet will never attract this. Try to bring it closer. Try to bring it closer. Bring it. There is a certain distance. If you bring this iron needle, automatically it will jump and it will be attract by the magnet. Do you understand, everybody? All of you? Like that, if any side if you bring, there is a certain region where the force of the magnet is influencing. That is the region. In that region, if you bring the object, automatically the metal object will be attracted by the magnet. So that region where the influenced force, the influenced area is acting, that is what we used to call as. What we used to call, guys? Everybody? We used to call as
Force field.
force field. So if you take a region surrounding by a magnet, where the magnetic substance experiences a force, that is what we used to call as magnetic field of the magnet. So in this area, wherever if you place the object, the substance, that is what the metal object, which will experience that force. So that region only we used to call as, if it is a magnet, we used to call as what field? We used to call
Magnetic field.
magnetic field. Do you understand, all of you? Please respond, guys. Understand? If you take, for
Yes,
example, you all people knows conductors, electric conductors, electric wire. Let me take electric wire. Okay. So now, if the current is passing, let me take, this is the copper wire. All of you remember what wire it is? What wire it is? Copper wire. So if it is carrying the current, inside current is passing or electric current is passing. What is passing, everybody? Electric current is passing. Now you see that whatever it is, in the surrounding area, definitely there is a force of attraction. Up to certain distance, there is a force of attraction throughout the conductor. So the force of attraction, which is created by the electricity in its surroundings, the influenced area of the electricity, influenced area of the conductor, current carrying conductor. So it is the field, the force field is exerting by electricity. That is why we can call this field as a what? Everybody?
Electric
We used to call it as electric field. You understand? So if we take any kind of conductor, suppose I'm having a metal conductor, I connected to a battery, all of you remember, or a dry cell, whatever it is. So whenever the current is passing through this, all of you remember, definitely in its surroundings, there is a force of attraction. 10th class, you will study that. Magnetic effects of electric current. That is what. So because of current carrying through this conductor, there is an influence in its surroundings. So that influence is only actually the force of attraction. There is a force of attraction. So it is causing because of electricity. That is why this field is called as, everybody, what field we used to call as?
Electric field.
Electric field.
Electric field.
Understanding, everybody? So if you take here, these kind of non-contact forces, whatever their influence area is present in their surroundings, that is what we used to call as force field. I hope everybody understand. Anybody having any doubt, you can ask me. Clear, guys? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes? All of you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anybody a doubt, you can ask. Okay. Now, like this, there is a force called as centripetal force. The most important force
Uniform circular motion.
Yes, centripetal force, and as well as you know that this force, class 11th, 3 chapters will be there related to this force, and class 9th also, next chapter also will be having the same thing. So centripetal force. You might be remember chapter 1 we studied the circular motion. Do you all remember, all of you? Circular
Yes,
motion,
sir.
all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
please respond. So circular motion, maybe the speed of the body remains constant, but somebody is not constant. Anybody can tell? Who is not constant?
Velocity.
Direction of the body.
Direction, every part, every point, the direction is keep on changing. So every point keep on changing means direction changes, somebody will change. Who is that?
Velocity.
Velocity.
Okay. So in a circular motion, speed of the body maybe remains constant, but who is not constant?